while promoting the 2023 action movie Operation Fortune, Ruse de Guerre. Collider asked Statham to recommend one of his movies to viewers who may not be familiar with his on-screen persona and body of work. The actor didn't have to think long to pick a movie before throwing in one more as a bonus. Jason Statham. You know, I'm very fond of those old Guy Ritchie movies that I did. So I would say maybe Snatch, maybe Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. It would be a flip of the coin on those two, I think, just because I think they were so instrumental in my career. I've done movies that are more focused on me as a centerpiece, but I think those early Guy Ritchie movies are just... I don't know anyone that couldn't enjoy them, really. It's obvious that Statham has a personal fondness and connection to Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels and Snatch, and it's easy to see why. Firstly, the two movies were the start of his fruitful professional relationship and lifelong friendship with writer-director Guy Ritchie. Their decades-long collaboration began when Ritchie was scouting for someone authentic to portray the street-smart con artist Bacon in his feature film debut, Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. Statham, who actually grew up selling bootleg merchandise on the street, quickly got the role after he impressed the filmmaker with his patter. A few years later, Ritchie and Statham worked together again for Snatch. This time, Statham took on the role of the fixed boxing promoter, Turkish. Despite the actor's current leading status and high profile, both Bacon and Turkish were small-timers in big ensembles. They were petty crooks whose next-to-worthless presence in London's criminal underworld didn't stop them from being overconfident braggarts. They were the complete antithesis of Statham's current on-screen persona. In fact, they were the kinds of smart-mouthed losers who Statham would shoot in the face in his later and bigger roles. However, Bacon and Turkish highlighted one of Statham's most underrated assets as an actor, his impeccable comic timing and hilariously dry delivery. Today, Statham is best known for playing stoic badasses who let their actions and fists do all the talking. But when he was just starting out, Statham stole every scene he was in by trying and, almost always, failing to talk his way out of fights. If all else failed, he resorted to sarcastic insults and childish comebacks. Statham's sardonic performances and Ritchie's verbosely vulgar dialogue were a match made in heaven. But in a twist of fate, Statham was typecast as an action star of few words rather than a snarky character actor thanks to his breakout role in The Transporter a few years later. While it's great that Statham reinvented himself so quickly for mainstream audiences after he broke through with two indie hits, it's a shame that most of his succeeding movies never tapped into his comic potential. The best that his later action movies had to offer in terms of comedy were the usual action hero one-liners and quips, especially in the Expendables movies and Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw. The only real exceptions were Romeo and Juliet and Spy.